Hi, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing great. I've been thinking a lot about my physical TBR and how long it's taken me to go through the books that I want to read. I honestly don't have that many unread books on my shelf, but I do have about 5 books that have been with me since last year. Every time I see these books on my shelf, I feel like they're staring at me. I feel like they're judging me. I feel like they're like, when are you going to read me? And me over here, I'm like, please don't look at me like that. And also like, I will read you when the time is right. So I have 5 books currently in my physical TBR that I want to talk about. And honestly, I feel like I need to start with Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. Let me be very clear about this. I don't like this cover. This orange cover is a Barnes & Noble exclusive, and the only reason why I got this edition is because it is a signed copy. So story time, I went to Barnes on Black Friday, and what do you know, there's a signed copy table and I see 1 copy of Intermezzo. But what's funny is that every single book on that table had the signed edition sticker on it except this book. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Maybe it's not a signed copy unless... And then I start looking down at the floor and what do I see? A little signed edition sticker. And I was like, hold on, let me check. I opened the book and there it is. The Sally Rooney signature. And I was like, literally I felt like Tyra. I was like, I have a signed copy of Intermezzo in my hands. I don't have the heart to put this back. Like, who would I be if I put this book back on the table? So I got it. Listen, despite the fact that I have only read Normal People, I love Sally Rooney. Like, I love that woman to death. When the time is right, this book will get read and I will eat this up. In case you don't know, Intermezzo is Rooney's latest novel. Some people say it's her best work. It's basically about 2 brothers. One's a chess prodigy and the other one is in college, I think. I believe their father dies and there's some exploration of grief and how both brothers deal with that differently. As usual, there's some like Rooney-esque relationship dynamics and like social and class commentary. I am very excited to read this book, but I'm not ready for this. I need to read more Rooney. I need to basically read her in chronological order. Best believe I will eat this up and you will hear about it when I finish it. Okay, so the next book that I have low-key been avoiding is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Okay, so remember when I said that I'm kind of a new reader? Please keep that in mind at all times. Assume that I have only read like 5 classics. And like, Pride and Prejudice is not one of them. So the classics that I'm interested in reading right now, I'm basically like choosing to scratch the itch for the curiosity of like knowing what's the tea. This beloved classic that has been around for hundreds of years, like this is the blueprint for the modern enemies to lovers. Like, okay, I would like to see that. Like, give it to me. Like, I want to read that. So full transparency, I have never read a Jane Austen novel, and I have also never seen the Pride and Prejudice movie, which I know some of you are so jealous right now because I know that many of you wish that you could erase your memory and experience watching Pride and Prejudice for the first time. I have been avoiding that movie for years because I want to have the experience of reading the book first, then devouring the movie right after, like immediately after. I'm basically just setting myself up to have the best experience ever. Just in case you haven't read Pride and Prejudice, as far as I know, it's like a Regency era enemies to lovers, which just like feels really funny to describe it that way. The main character, Elizabeth, is like an independent woman trying to defy societal expectations, and her love interest, Mr. Darcy, is I guess just like a rich, socially awkward man. But you know, I haven't read it, so I don't know what happens. I don't know anything else other than enemies to lovers, like original enemies to lovers. I got this actually like a year ago. Honestly, I bought it because I had never seen this cover before. I had always just seen the Penguin Classics cover, but this one's different. I ended up finding out that like this is a very popular cover. But I didn't know it at the time. I just saw it at like a little independent bookstore and I was like, oh, how cute. How cute. I want it. And it feels nice. So I was like, okay, if I'm reading Pride and Prejudice, this is a good one, you know? I am actually planning on reading this around July. So this will be read in the summer. I might actually do a reading vlog on it so that you guys can live vicariously through me. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I know I'm gonna like it, and yeah. Okay, so the next book on my TBR is Elena Ferrante's Days of Abandonment. Okay, so I've never read any of Ferrante's work, and one of my biggest reading goals this year was to read my first Ferrante. I know that most people like to start with My Brilliant Friend, but I feel like I'm not ready to enter like a series right now, you know? So I thought, okay, The Days of Abandonment is like another book that gets great reviews. Someone I watched on here made a really good video about this where they like read a blurb from it, and I was like, oh, that sounds like everything I want to read, so I got it. In case you don't know, The Days of Abandonment is about this woman whose husband just like straight up abandons her. So it's like the unraveling of a grown adult relationship and the effect that this disillusionment has on our female protagonist. There's a lot of like female rage explored here, like how infuriating to have like your husband of how many years just leave you with the kids. I'm very interested in reading the experience of heartbreak and dissolution from the perspective of an older woman. Heartbreak to me is an interesting feeling to explore because of the loss of identity that comes from that experience. There's so many different angles that you can explore heartbreak from. So whether it was like I gave this person my everything and like he gave me nothing, or like I gave this person my everything and he gave me a lot in return, and now what do I do with like that loss of love and companionship and whatnot. So yeah, I am very excited to read this book. I might read this right after I finish what I'm reading right now. I'm reading The Vegetarian, so I might end up actually picking this up soon. Stay tuned for a review. I know I'm gonna like it, so don't worry about me. Okay, I have 2 more books left. So another book that I've kind of been avoiding is John Williams' Stoner. I got this book a couple of months ago in New York, fully expecting to read it as soon as I got home, but I don't know how this happened. My life got busy, and like I don't know where I decided to start Crime and Punishment, which by the way, I'm still reading Crime and Punishment. I don't want to talk about it. I promise you one day I will finish this book. But like the funny thing now is that I am not ready to read this book anymore. So Stoner's about this man's like unremarkable life, and I think the whole premise of this book is that his life is full of disappointments. I guess within that unremarkable life there are lessons and observations to be made about Stoner and the way that he chooses to live this life. It's a book that I have heard great things about, and I have been wanting to read it for a long time. It's just that I got this book when I was going through a bit of a crisis, and I thought that reading a book about a man living an unfulfilling life might help me feel better. What's that Taylor Swift song? I got wasted like all my potential. I was feeling like that. But like with any crises that I have, I was feeling better 2 weeks later, so I didn't really feel like picking this up again. I just feel like I need to be in the right headspace to dive in. So yeah, maybe later this year. You never know. Okay, so the last book I want to talk about is Didion's The White Album. So I am kind of due for another Didion. I haven't read any of her work in like 3 years, and I was at the bookstore the other day and this was like buy one get one 50 off. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm reading Didion. Just so you guys know, an essay collection or like a short story collection is everything to me. I love reading a little essay collection on a Saturday morning. I grab my coffee, I go sit at my balcony, and I just like read a little story and live my life, you know, like enjoy every minute of it. I'm just vibing, I'm just thriving. In case you don't know, The White Album is an essay collection about California in the 60s and 70s. So think like hippie counterculture, the Manson murders, the chaos of like the Vietnam War. I love Didion's like detached observations. She is detached but like also super judgmental in like a nonchalant way. I want to read about the Manson stuff. I want to read about the Doors. I had a big 60s era back in the day. One more thing I have to say, this is one of my favorite book covers of all time. I know that I haven't read it, so like it's wrong for me to say one of my favorite book covers is Joan Didion's The White Album, despite the fact that I have never read it. I feel like I need to correct that. So yeah, I have to read this. I don't know when I am going to actually sit down and read this, because I'm reading Susan Sontag's on women right now, and that's my Saturday morning essay collection at the moment. So I guess when I'm eventually done with that, I will pick this Didion book. But yeah, I'm really excited. Once again, I know I will eat this up. Like, this is right up my alley, so stay tuned. Okay, that was it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for making it to this point. Those are the books that have been haunting me for some time now. Those are the books I've been avoiding. That is my physical TBR. I am interested in knowing what is on your physical TBR and what the hell are you avoiding. Like, what books are just kind of like staring at you from the shelf like, hello, when are you gonna read me? I hope I get to see you soon, and yeah, have a good day.